DZBS Baguio. Member, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Karambola sa DWIZ.
Pupunta sa Singapore at exclusive lang. At exclusive lang.
Sa ibang bansa.
Pupunta sa ibang
bansa.
Parang may nasama nung mga
Thailand. Siyempre,
Thailand.
kano ang binahid ng Singapore? That must be in the millions. In the millions. Definition.
Singapore kasi strategy talaga. Singapore dyan eh. And then, mula nung natapos ang pandemic, they've been rolling out the red carpet. Kila Blackpink, Harry Styles, Ed Sheeran, Coldplay played there, at si Bruno Mars, although dumaan din man sa
Pumunta
Pilipinas
dito.
siya, pero
Pero ito lang yung nagkaroon ng exclusive.
Oo. Now, sinasadya ng Singapore to, and ang pagkaalam ko, kasi I'm familiar with this, tumira ako sa Singapore, sir. Talagang in partnership yan, yung Singapore Inc., umaandar na yung wheels of motion nila, yung tourism,
government and the private sector.
yung mga, definitely, well, safe naman ang Singapore talaga, pero mga hotel, mga bars, mga restaurants, ready na talaga silang lahat. Now, hindi ko naman sinasabing maglagak ng napakalaking halaga ang Pilipinas, but therein lies the strategy. Na alala ko si Sunshine Joe Aspiras, lagi natin natatanong.
Well, you have to
no, they would, no, but this one, think of an idea, big one, market the bejesus out of it, and then come up with, okay, everybody ready na, hanggang yung pag-wall-in ng mga informal setters, kaya whatever, kasama na lahat yun.
Actually,
to make the event a success and to bring in the tourists.
Actually, nauna na tayo sa ganyan eh.
Nauna na tayo?
Noon pa. Alam mo kung bakit? 1976 pa lang, we hosted the World Bank IMF conference in Manila.
Oh, yun. Nakakala ko yun.
And
PICC,
ginawa yung PICC.
ang bilis, record.
And then ginawa yung maraming hotels. At that time, there was a boom in so far as hotels are concerned.
Nauna pa tayo sa Singapore sa Bagayan. Ang tawag dyan yung mobilization of resources.
Total. Yung Muhammad Ali.
Agad-agad yung Ali Mall, tinayo.
Natayo, lahat. With government support din yan. Yung tungkol doon sa Miss Universe. Miss Universe dito sa Pilipinas. In other words, we had those grand schemes before. And I think it's about time after the pandemic for us to think about all of these things.
To veer away from the tried and tested.
Yung tried and tested, we will always
do that.
Ang importante yung mga ganitong events. Like for example, I understand na pumunta dito yung Rotary International.
Okay.
They wanted the Rotary International World Assembly in the Philippines. Siyempre, kailangan mag-usap kayo sa gobyerno dahil ang dami mong kailangan sa government for purpose coordination at lahat. Ewan ko kung ano nangyari doon. There are a lot of those things kasi if you're talking about Rotary International, for example, you are talking about immediately 10,000 delegates. 10,000 delegates plus family, etc. and everything. All of those things. Di ba pumunta rin dito ang Beatles?
Yeah.
At one point. So in other words, these are some of the things that as you go along in promoting our country as the destination of record, merong mga grand events na pwedeng i-work out. Aside from the traditional.
Ang akin ba, if I may be bold enough to suggest this, kasi again, like I said, I'm familiar with Singapore. Hats off ako dun sa kanilang management, marketing expertise. A lot of that is fueled by Singapore dollars, by the way. Pero tayo, binanggit mo na dati, ito Kong Jonat I remember sa Middle East, yung connection ng Nani at saka ng Royal, yung tayo, meron tayong personal relationships all over the world because of the Philippine diaspora. Yun ang magandang itap. Not just for tourism, but for other economic endeavors.
We have actually advised
diba?
Nung pa. We make use of our diaspora. For a lot of things. Marami yan. Kasi personal, noon ng Pilipino sa ganyan na personal touch. And people will always come because of the manner by which we handle our visitors, the manner by which we handle our friends and the like. No? Ngayon,
Whether
pati
investors yan o tourism, whatever. Yun eh. I mean, Singapore, they have that. Okay, so they have the institutions, the management, pero alam mo, yun ang kulang nila, pare. Sa totoo lang, I know that.
Wala.
Personal
Masyadong
touch,
mga wala yan.
Peperahin nila. Okay, wala. Gaya kay Taylor Swift. Okay, bayad yan. Ayos, darating.
And then, very, very, ano na siya yan. Kayo tayo, doon naman tayo to the extreme.
Yeah.
We're so personal. To the point na, kaya pala pumunta dito to mag-invest. Ang nangyari,
inuna muna yung personal touch.
Yung hosting, etc. and everything.
Pakainin mo muna boodle fight yan, maya-maya. Okay, I'll sign on the dotted line na.
Hindi. Hindi natin, in other words, hindi tayo nakahanda sa ganun. Sign on the dotted line na, Brad, para matapos. Yung preparasyon natin pagdating sa investments, and I'm talking about investments, yung preparasyon kulang pa. Kasi, marami tayong gusto. The best example na nangyari sa ganyan ay yung si Dado Banatao.
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley top guru ito, top notch na ano to. And he is a Filipino. He wanted to have something done in the Philippines and duplicate what happened to him in Silicon Valley. O ano nangyari? Sayang siya. He has been there, he has been with various administrations many times
Kinulang ng follow-up lagi, di ba?
Hindi nangyari yung pinag-uusapan at lahat, and then he could have set up a Silicon Valley in the Philippines totally. Nangyari kanya-kanya.
Kanya-kanya. Which is walang problema ron. Ayala set up yung mga dyan sa may UP. But then it was really more of real estate deals eh. Hindi
Nasaan yung totality nitong
rental sa nangyari.
For example, right now, Parin Joel, and I hope the President and the Cabinet, and of course all our other friends in the private sector will be in sync in this particular effort. There is a big push from various sources for the Philippines to be a healthcare and wellness center.
Yan.
Okay? Ngayon.
Natural yan.
Natural na. Kasi touch natin, etc. lahat. And there is also an effort right now. We hosted the Managing Director and CEO of the Andhra Pradesh Medical Technical Zone, Medical Technology Zone, which is now hosting, by the way, parang Joel, 140 companies doing medical equipment, supplies, medicine, etc., etc. 140 of the world's largest and most advanced companies in terms of healthcare and everything else. Itong CEO na ito, this is a government corporation, by the way, in Andhra Pradesh. The CEO came here, he talked with Secretary Herbosa, and it was a very, very good meeting. It lasted for more than an hour. Ang gusto nilang mangyari, they will help us set the same thing that they did in Andhra Pradesh. It's now the world's largest medical technology zone in the world.
Natural yan. We have the expertise.
We have the nurses, we have all the medical personnel, etc. and everything. I hope this will finally come to fruition.
If I may ask, gaya niya, isang investor, anong hinihiling lang nila?
Just
wag kayong magulo. yung pag-set up ng
dyan is we talk with of course Secretary.
Were they asking for land 100%?
Wala pa
galit
tayo
ba sila sa 60-40?
Wala pa tayo
doon.
Ang sinasabi lang nila, ito yung aming pinagdaanan kasi India is as good in so far as yung Rumble is concerned. Alam mo ibig sabihin ko? Ang ibig sabihin niyan, sila rin ganun din sila their democracy is as rambunctious as we are in the Philippines. Maano rin sila, marami rin galaw ng galaw, etc. Pero it came to a point na sabi ng federal government, si Prime Minister Modi at saka yung state government. No, we are going to put up this thing once and for all para matapos na tayo.
Sinagot mo na kung Jonathan, tanong ko, humihingi lang sila political will.
Ito.
Ayun,
all of those things na
kung seryoso kayo, let's get it done.
In other words, work out natin ito. Simple lang naman. Sabi, we don't need any other. All we need is number one, predictability, some assistance in so far as setting up all of this.
Of course.
And of course, part of the is availability of guidance from the government. Mayroon kaming kakausapin na totoong tao who will represent the entire government, not just the national agency, but the entire government, who will also have the ear of the president, and at the same time, who will put together all of the ingredients of putting up a successful export zone, so that we can move forward and attract all of these investors. O yun. Yun lang ang sinasabi nila. And the Gunjan government is ready, willing, and able to assist in setting up the same thing. Ano sila?
Oo.
Ang sinasabi sa akin na, and this is how China also...
Yung bagay niyan, si Secretary Go, yung mga ganon.
Yeah,
can do, guy who can facilitate open doors, pick up, make calls.
Yung tatlo, Secretary Herbosa, because he's
siya yung
nakaka-intindi ng workout. And then, of course, Secretary Go and Secretary Recto. The finance, para malaman kung ano bang pwedeng ibigay dito sa mga ito in terms of assistance, funding, and everything else. But itong mga ito, you don't have to,
But again, that is a key example.
Ang important, kagaya nito, we hope that in this particular, in this administration, we will finally be able to do this thing and put it up together. Because we were the first, by the way, tayo inunahan natin itong mga kasama natin sa ASEAN. We were the first to put up an export zone in Maribeles. We were the first to put up the LRT1, yung light rail transit in this area.
And even these medical centers, heart center, kidney center, lahat yan.
Nauna tayo dyan.
Lahat.
Whatever happened. Yun lang ang sinasabi natin.
Tapos balik tayo, yung Miss Universe, mga Ali Frazier.
All of these things. IMF, World Bank.
Okay. Again, mabalik tayo. Nung panahon ni President Ferdinand E. Marcos kasi.
Very focused.
Focused. But he looked like the type of guy, he would call a meeting and then he doesn't really care about the politics. Okay, Bobby Ongpin help me out or whatever. I remember sa sports, okay, sabihin na, a lot of people cried na, ano ba tawag doon, yung kamag-anak.
Si
Michael Kiyon, ba't yung kinuha? Sa totoo lang, magaling yung tao eh.
Magaling
I mean, probably he talked to his uncle and uncle, ganito. Okay, you do this. Ginawa nga. Diba? Things like that.
May follow through.
May follow through.
Yun ang workout. Halimbawa, we had a Philippine Energy Development Plan under Minister Velasco.
Yun.
Magaling na executive ito. At saka sabi niya, sir, if you want me to succeed, I have to do this. Ito yan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ito mga magugulo. Ano yun natin? Maganda yung plano mo. Sige, pag-aralan natin na mabuti, etc. It starts again. Palagi natin sinasabi, with a plan. Where is the plan? Di ba?
At plan na totoo.
Na totoo.
Hindi yung pupunta ka doon na meron kang science-based climate change or DT or something na 17 billion worth of investment is not overnight. Walang mga ganun-ganun.
Concentrate and focus on certain things that you
Kasi siguro, inahuri din si dating Presidente Marcos doon. Di ba? Nag-martial law na ako. History will be judging me. You guys will be really going down with me if I go down. Gano'n na siguro. Although, I don't think he thought of going down. He really thought of going up, moving forward.
Actually, maski na ayaw maniwala yung iba. Si President Marcos was
maniwala nung iba. Yung mga ibang nagrarally dyan. Okay, sige.
He is part of that generation that really, what we call nation builders. Di ba? Yan ang generation nila Sukarno, Suharto, yan.
Panisinin mo lahat yan, dumaan ng panahon ng gera, no?
Yes. Lee Kuan Yew,
nasanay sa
nasanay sila dyan. Park Chung-hee, to his credit, siya nagdala ng sa South Korea, despite the fact na, dictator yan, etc., etc., no? Si Tunku Abdul Rahman of Malaysia. Yan ang mga nation builders.
By the way, the other thing that yung mga binanggit mo lahat na pangalan na yan, in the same breath, pansinin mo, regardless ng mga sigawang tuta ng USA, these were fierce nationalism.
Yes.
They know how to play the game. But damn it, hindi to yung i-briefing nyo nga ako sa Hawaii ng SINPAC. Hindi ganun, bro.
Ano talaga? They really cared about the country. They were after a nation that they can be proud of. Nation builders Iba yung nation builders. And then they will not take any kind of, hindi ho pwede. No, pwede yan. Yung ganong klase.
Yeah.
Yung ganong klase.
Pwede yan.
Pwede.
Oo.
No. Tell me why. Ganon ng workout. Pwede mo bang pagsabihan yung mga likes ni na Birata, ni na Paterno, ni na Ongpin, pare? Magagaling yung mga yun.
Oo.
Siyempre, sila. And really, pare, despite all the things that have been said about, sila yung nagdila. The best example, na isa rin na sayang, it was already there, we were already on top of the world, etc. as far as the coconut industry is concerned. Sayang. Now we will have to go back and rebuild the whole thing all over again. Why? Because for 36 years, nawala. Nawala yung our advantages were slowly but surely nawala. Sayang yun. Yung mga ganong klase. So, even in the case of mining and the like that, nauuna rin tayo dyan. Pagdating dyan. There was an effort from the very start of nickel processing. That is the reason why in Mindanao, meron doon yung island itself, na Nickel Island.
Okay.
There was already an effort to develop.
Doon ilagay yung processing katabi talaga nung production
And
facility.
they already have a plant.
Para pag in-export mo, gawang produkto na.
produkto.
Hindi yung i-export mo, bulto-bultong
And then you have
material.
the 11 basic industries. Yung mga ganong klase. So, all of
Well, okay. So, I mean,
Nation building.
I think thinking of agad-agad 11 basic industries might be a huge jump.
Yes.
At least unahin natin mga quick doables na andyan na. Low hanging asam mo yung Andhra
Pradesh, MedTech,
yung mga ganun ba?
mga workout na.
And then I remember you were discussing may mga Chinese investors
Yes.
who want to go into
Ito.
rural farming na major sa mga ilang probinsya natin.
Matagal nang pinag-uusapan nito. Why don't we
High-tech
make
farming pala.
why don't we make use of all, nilista na rin ni Presidente ito yung mga land grants given to state universities and colleges. Make them production. After all, you already have a institution that will provide you with all the research capabilities, with all the manpower, etc. You have students all over the place. And then you have also the penal colonies. I understand Secretary Boying
Penal colony.
Boying, Secretary Remulla and Director General Katapang, they have already opened up the possibility of developing part of Iwahig Penal Colony into productive agricultural estates. Ganon din yung doon sa Sablayan. So, these are some of the things that dapat mapalo through. Let us not be distracted by the
Mga petty politics at
kailangan galaw tayo ng mabuti.
solution to tinker around with the Constitution. Although, okay lang yan.
Okay lang
But,
yan.
sige.
All the others, huwag kayo sumama na doon. In other words, do your job.
Meron nang gumagawa nun. Gawin naman natin ngayon.
Huwag kayo sumala. Gawin ninyo yung dapat na magagawa
By the
nyo.
way, ito tama yung nag-comment sa, now I remember this, yung babalik tayo doon sa concert ni Taylor Swift. Ang Coldplay, kaya pala talagang insistent na, hindi, kailangan mag-Pilipinas leg kami. Dahil malapit sila sa Pinoy. Nung panahon daw na hindi pa sila sikat,
Nandito sila.
nandito sila at in-entertain talaga sila na dito ng mga Pilipino. At nagkakakain pa nga sila ng fishball at kung ano street food. Gusto nilang balikan yon. So there you go yung relationship building. And I'm sure Sunshine Joe probably did that a lot because he wasn't really a management guy. He was a
journalist.
He was a relationship builder.
Yes.
So, and he came up with projects like that. Siguro meron siya mga staff, mga whiz kids. Pero at the end of the day, it starts with meron kang kakilala.
In the final analysis, it is a relationship.
Relationship.
You are talking about relationships. Pare. Always yun.
Laging gano'n.
You have to understand
So, gusto
those things.
bumalik sa Pinas dahil may kilala ko.
Kaibigan ko yan.
Ang ganda ng feeling ko nung kasama ko siya. Yung ba talagang gano'n?
Nag-inuman kami ng beer niyan.
Whether it was somewhere out there or in New York or something hanggang dito. Maraming gano'n.
As a matter, for a long, long time, yung mga artista, hindi natin alam, nandito pala.
Nandito na. Di ba? Maraming ganun.
Maraming ganun.
Dito na pala, nagbakasyon na rito, nag-ano na. Then,
I'll
Ikaw bahala sa sausawan. Kahit ilang taktak pa yan. Tara na sa Mang Inasal.
He is the, nasa akin yung card eh.
No.
He is the president and CEO of an IT company, Saudi Arabian IT company. So nag-usap kami. Gusto niya magtayo rin ng kanyang maliit na company dito, makikipag-ugnay, etc. and everything. And he wants to set up, pare. He wants to set up an RP, Philippine-Saudi business conference or business parang group.
Okay.
Parang chamber. At sabi ko, that's a very good idea. Why don't we do this, etc., etc., and everything. He was brought to my attention by a lady lawyer. Sabi ko, okay yan, maganda. How did you come to know all of these things, and we are visiting the Philippines, you want to do something about it. Sabi sa akin, sir, I have very good friends in the Philippines, ganito, ganyan. And of course, I may finally get married in the Philippines. So how are you? Siyempre, ako naman harabas. So who are you going to marry, etc. Sabi niya, she is my fiancé. Yung abogada.
Doon na pala.
Ganun ba? Pare, ang sabi sa akin ng kanyang fiancé, they are going to get married, totoo yun. They are going to put up that company, etc. Sabi niya, sir, he's related to the royal family.
Kita mo.
Ganun ba? Napakasimpleng tao. Sabi niya, gusto daw niyang kumain naman kung ano. Sabi ko, baka mapakain ka ng baboy niyan. Hindi, sabi niya, I know what is.
Halal to, halal.
Pare, yung ganung relationship. Yun ang pinag-uusapan natin.
Pare, aanuhin na lang nating relationship. Ito, naalala ko, nag-text sa akin, nakilala ko ito isang araw, si William Josol. Pare, ito, Grab driver.
Si William.
Alam mo bang itong si William Josol, pare? Simpleng tao lang to, Grab driver. Kahit na winawalang hiya siya ng Grab, pare, sa mga hatian. Saka mahalang gasolina. Alam mo, this guy has contributed hindi lang natin na kailangan i-quantify ito sa investment at saka sa tourism dahil minsan sa ganda ng ugali, personality, itong mga bisita natin, babalik ako sa Pilipinas dahil they have the best taxi drivers or Grab drivers in the world. Dahil all because nung tinanong ko si William, hindi ka ba naro-road rage sa traffic na, sir, walang mangyayari sa atin. Yan basta gawin lang natin trabaho, maging mabait tayo sa tao at umiikot yan. Sabi niya, totoo nga naman pare, may mga suliran nitong tao sa buhay, yung anak niya may sakit, bumabalik ang grasya sa kanya. At hindi lang niya alam, nakakatulong pala siya sa ekonomiya.
Ang laki. Ito, another example, di ba si Presidente, he went to Saudi Arabia. At they had a very good conversation, etc. with and very friendly ang Saudi, yung Crown Prince, who is known to be very, very strict, etc. Sabi niya,
lalo na sa mga puti siguro.
Intimately sinabi nung Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, sabi niya, Mr. President, my second mother is a Filipina.
Talaga?
Kasi
inalagaan siya. So, i-considers na magulang na
very accommodating sila.
And you can imagine.
Why don't we take advantage of that? They're doing a lot of work in Saudi Arabia right now, and we must have corporations going there and talking with people there. Kaya itong prinsipe na ito belongs to the royal family. Kakausapin ito, sabi ko sa kanya, there are a lot of things that we can do together.
The point is, pwedeng manganak yan in future na opportunities para sa Pilipinas. Again, my point is this. Okay, sige, kudos sa sponsor ni Taylor Swift sa Singapore, but that is an out-and-out business deal. Sa totoo lang, cold dyan, wala silang relationship sa Singapore. Tayo, we can do infinitely better. Baka kung sino pa maimbita natin, both investor o entertainer, all because dahil tayo Pilipino.
Maganda yung ating
relationship. Maniwala kayo dyan.
Napapaibig mga ito eh. Sabi
napapaibig, pare. Which reminds me, pag bumalik tayo, nakalunch ko. Ito, pare, nakwento ko na sa iyo yung kaibigan natin si Meng at si Paul galing UK. Yung anak nila, ang pinakasalan, pulis sa Bohol, pare. In love sila, bro.
Nakita mo?
Si Elizabeth, such a beautiful English girl, hindi na Pilipino. Pero yun, napakasala, Pilipino. All because pare iba tayo magmahal. Mainit tayo, pare. Mainit tayo.
Ang time check natin. 9:01 ng umaga dito sa ating programang Karambola sa DWIC.
Karambola sa DWIC.
That news was brought to you by ACS Manufacturing Corporation, ISO certified, world-class quality.
Good news! Nag-o-offer ng M. Luilier ng cash-in and cash-out services to GCash users sa lahat ng branches nationwide. And there's more! Cash-in for the first 8,000 pesos within a month is free. 2% service fee naman ang automatically deducted sa account for cash-out transaction. Kaya punta na sa pinakamalapit na M. Luilier branch sa inyong lugar.
ML Kwarta padala, pamilya padala, padalang galing sa puso.
Para di madaling masira ang ngipin ng pamilya, ngayon pa lang,
Unique toothpaste for brushing every after kumain.
dahil ang unique toothpaste, may Max Protect formula.
Ngipin ay Max Alaga, Max Protektado pa.
Helps stop cavities even before they start, while keeping breath fresh with regular use.
Unique toothpaste for brushing para siguraduhin ngipin ay Max Alaga, Max Protektado pa. Unique.
Max Alaga, Max Protectado with unique toothpaste maximum fluoride protection. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing. ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS. Sa panahon ngayon, kau ba'y sigurado? Kau ba'y protektado? Ang pamilya ay i-shield mo. Laban sa bakterya, i-shield mo. Laban ng pating virus, i-shield mo.
Shield Bat Soap. Matay 99.9% of bacteria and virus tested. Believed ng eksperto iti Philippine Nurses Association.
Sa sakit protektado, i-shield mo. Pamilya protektado, i-shield mo.
Shield Bat Soap. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified. World-class quality.
ACS.
RPN DZBS Baguio. Ang Radyo Ronda ng buong Pilipinas.
Alamin ang mga bagong paraan kung paano kumita sa panahon ngayon. Nang legal ha, eto na ang racket.
Isa ka rin ba sa mga nag-iisip ng mga pwedeng pagkakitaan? Subukan ang pagiging casino dealer. Ang pagkita ng pera, pasimplihin natin sa racket. Ikaw ba ay mahilig maglaro ng online games, may good communication skills, at may basic math knowledge? Kung oo, pasok ka sa trabahong ito. Ilan sa mga ginagawa ng isang casino dealer ay nagbabalasa ng baraha, nagbibigay ng instruction sa iba't ibang klase ng mga laro, nag-ooperate ng mga machines kagaya ng mga ruleta at slot machines sa casino. Ang maaring kitain sa pagiging casino dealer ay 22,000 monthly base pay, bukod pa rito ang mga incentives na ibinibigay ng mga kumpanya. Kaya kung sa tingin mo ay pasok ka sa pagiging casino dealer, mag-apply na sa mga kumpanyang hiring for casino dealers.
Sa DWIZ.
Karambola, karambola, tuwing umaga. Karambola.
Balik po tayo dito sa ating programa ang Karambola sa DWIZ. Ito pa rin yung mga kaibigan. Jonathan de la Cruz, siyempre kasama natin si paring Joel Laksamana. Good morning, paring Joel. At good morning din sa ating kapatid. Ang aming delegate doon sa
Sa Paliter Club. Sa Cagayan de Oro.
Cagayan de Oro. At saka sa Bukidnon, paring Conrad Banal.
Iwagayway mo, bandera ng
Karambola dyan, brother. Baka sakaling makantsawan natin yung mga ibang natin kasama dyan para sabihin, nanalo ba kayo? Kayang-kaya namin yan. Si paring Conrad ang aming dyan. Frontrunner. Pero,
by the way, ito, mag-usapan natin to, Sir Kung Jonah, itong pagbisita ni Presidente Marcos sa Australia. Anong tawag ibig sabihin ng guest of government visit? Guest of government.
State visit yun.
State visit?
That is a state visit.
Ngayon ko lang nanig yung guest of government. State visit.
He's going to be given all the honors of state visit. He's going to deliver a speech before the Australian Parliament, which is part of a state visit usually.
Pero ito, ASEAN-Australia Special Summit.
Yes,
to.
there is a special summit. Focus sila doon sa military and security alliances. But knowing the president, I'm sure he will be able to talk with the business community.
Okay.
Knowing full well na we have about 250,000 Pinoys
Oh.
in Australia. And they are doing a lot of good work
At
in Australia.
hindi lang ito sa Sydney at Melbourne.
No.
May mga
All
saka
over
Brisbane. May all over yan.
Gold Coast, etc. and
Oo,
everything.
Gold Coast.
At saka, well-regarded sila dyan sa Australia. Many of them are professionals. Most of them are professionals.
May mga
The others-
anak-anak ko dyan, at kaibigan.
The others are students, etc. and everything. And of course, we also have our own share of activists. Because, in Melbourne, parang Joel, I understand, is now the center of the international organization involving all of the leftist parties in the world.
Talaga.
Nandoon sila concentrated.
Ganda-ganda ng architecture dyan.
Oh, yung Melbourne
Old world,
talagang old world.
Kumpara sa Sydney na medyo, maganda rin na Sydney, pero Sydney modern na modern.
Oh, yung
Tsaka Gold Coast, Brisbane.
yung
Pero
Melbourne.
Melbourne, Pero I didn't know that medyo mga
Sila.
leftist.
Nandoon yung international groups.
Okay.
And then, of course, the president will be, I understand, will be in Canberra, which is the capital.
Canberra.
And then, of course, in Melbourne. The good thing about it, and ito gusto ko na lang para baka maalala rin ni Presidente ito, he will be hosted by the founder and of one of the groups that visited us. Yung Aspen Medical. Itong Aspen Medical is the biggest medical services company in Australia. They are providing a lot of things, especially in the armed forces of Australia and in the federal police. Kasi they are very, very agile, parang Joel. And they provide what they call ambulatory services. Ito yung parang hospital, pero at the same time, fully mobile. Nakakaano sila. And then they go to the rural areas and they can put up a hospital kind of thing. At in about 5-7 days. They are now in Ukraine, ha?
Ganon?
Oh, yes.
Nasa Ukraine sila, doon sa gera.
Doon sa gera, nagpuputap sila doon ng hospital, parang hospital talaga, with full equipment, full complement, etc., etc. He will be hosted by Glenn Keys, the founder of Aspen Medical
Ang Aspen
Canberra.
Medical, medyo meron na din presence sa Pilipinas.
Sila nga yung hinost natin.
Hinost na?
We hosted them 2 weeks ago.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, have they set up?
They are going to set up.
They
are going to set up. They have talked with General Acorda of the Philippines.
Maganda yan, ha?
The Philippine National Police. They have talked, of course, with Secretary Herbosa sa Department of Health, because he is our focal person for this purpose. And of course, they would like to talk with Secretary Teodoro and Armed Forces Chief of Staff Bronner, Romeo Bronner.
So parang may reciprocal host
Yes.
nila si Presidente pagpunta.
Because this is a veterans.
Veterans.
This is a
Ang
veterans
Australia.
company. But it's a veterans, mostly made up of veterans.
Yung mga panahon ng World War II.
Yung mga iba, and it is supported by the veterans group.
That organization yung
Meron silang organization, and then it was kasi siguro dun sa kanilang experience in war and in security activities na kailangan yung mga field hospitals, yung mga ganyan ambulatory things, etc. Given that Australia is such a huge country, so you have to provide all this kind of services all over this place, no? And at the same time, he's going to be in Melbourne. Sabi naman nun, pinagmalaki naman, another member of the consortium that visited us 2 weeks ago, hosted by Health Secretary Herbosa and our group. He will be in Melbourne. Sabi nung plenary group naman ito, this is a big group. They are managing funds, etc. And putting up buildings and everything else. Sabi niya, he will be in our convention center. We are the ones who put up that convention center, and sabi niya, and we have a lot of Filipinos there, sabi niya. Professionals, many of our personnel are Filipinos. I'm sure they'll be happy to meet with the president, etc., and everything else, which is good. Yan ho yung sinasabi natin palagi, parang Joel, na binabanggit natin. The Filipino diaspora is one big source of relationships na magaganda that can benefit the country immensely. napakagandang ito ang ating i-develop na tayo lang ang meron nun. The other countries in ASEAN do not have that kind
They don't have that relation.
that kind of resource.
Oo.
This is
Hindi,
the resource.
that resource is because of the diaspora na naman. Ba?
Precisely.
Oo.
Hindi natin natatap na mabuti ito. They would like to help. By the way, at one point in time, in the Australian group, Filipino Association, based in Sydney naman ito, sabi na, sir, is there any way by which we can at least siguro have some relationship with the bank in the Philippines that can provide the kind of funding for our communities? Because we would like to invest. They would like to invest. Isipin mo yun. Sabi niya, so magkakano, what are you talking about? Sir, we are about, sabi niya, in the Sydney, Metro Sydney area, meron tayo dito mga 50,000 na Pilipino. Sabi niya, kung ito ho, ano lang, savings. Sabi lang natin na we will ask them to save in that Filipino bank in Sydney. Sabi na lang $500 a month sa 50,000. Diyan laki nun. And then we use this, dedicated itong mga, yung mga pondo na ito, to launch to specific communities where we come from. In other words, halimbawa sila,
galing Ilocos, galing Visayas,
etc. Gusto namin ma-develop naman yung aming health center doon, pantulong namin doon. Tsaka gusto namin magkaroon ng magandang IT system dyan sa aming bayan. Kasi pinagmamalaki na yun Nag-invest kami dyan, dyan sa kumpanya na yan, nag-workout kami at lahat. As a matter of fact, ito yung tinatap ng mga real estate companies. They're all over the place.
Doon sila nagmamarketing.
Kaya nga sinasabi natin.
But this is different. Yung sa'yo, and I'm familiar with that, lalo na sa Sydney, nakita ko, at saka I remember sa Brisbane, sa Gold Coast, itong mga professionals na Pilipino, they really band together. And they really want to help in their mother country or their mother provinces. And dahil sila, mga professionals, mga edukado, nag-iisip sila, they really actually put their minds together and their funds together.
Ang kailangan lang,
para matutulong sa atin sino yung kausap.
This is where our senior officials, etc., they have to come out with specific projects na pwedeng makita, this will be something that can be done. Kasi yung mga pumupunta doon, other than the banks and the real estate developers, pati nga yung real estate developers, nakagalit sila dahil hindi natatapos yung mga ginagawa nila.
I mean, again, hindi ko naman nilalahat. Ang nangyayari, medyo, hindi naman carpet bagging or something. But, ang nangyayari ba, magbebenta ng developments na yun na nga.
Hindi pa natatapos.
Arko lang ang ginagawa. Pagkatapos, hindi tapos malalaman na lang namin sa media, may nagko-complain na, nilagay namin ang aming pera dyan, savings. Tapos,
hindi namin makuha yung titulo. Mga ganun
Tapos, naloko pa sila dahil, let's face it, yung iba may mga brand ambassador pa na kilala. Mga celebrity pa yung iba. Na, diba, itong mga kawawa nating Pilipino, naniwala naman. Maganda yung spill, maganda yung pitch. Tapos, medyo yung celebrity, inengganyo pa sila. Yung ganun, this is different. Yung sinasabi mo naman is really how to setting up a medical facility.
Platform ito. At saka yan, pwedeng gawin yan na DTI. At saka Department of Sabi, agricultural states ito. Totoo ito, boss. Ang nito, ang kasama natin dito, itong State University na ito, kaya sa Penal College. You can visit it kung gusto nyo later on as we go along. In other words, there are a lot of ways by which wag natin, ganito alam mo ang nangyayari kasi, nagiging mindset ng iba natin mga officials. Yung mga malalaki lang na kinakausap.
Hindi. Nag-aala Singapore sila. Na hindi naman kailangan. We have a relationship. Go for the low-hanging fruits and build from there. Pagkakausapin mo ang IBM at kung ano-ano.
Okay lang yun.
Walang problema.
Ang sinasabi ko, kagaya niyan, if you have 20,000, lagay mo na. 20,000 na with enough convincing power, etc., na convince mo sila na mag-deposit naman kayo dito sa bangko na ito. Itong bangko na ito, we have already asked them and they are going to do these things. They are going to develop agricultural estates all over there. And sabihan lang ninyo kung saan nyo gusto magpunta sila. Okay? Okay yan. 20,000 times $500 a month. Hindi ba malaking bagay na kagad yun?
Oo,
That's a
oo.
big pool of
Tama.
money that you can use specifically for yung ganung klase. So, these are the things na minsan nakakalimutan
Hindi
natin.
magandang press release hindi umaabot sa bilyon.
Yung nga problema doon.
Oo ka-meeting namin yan, nakamerkana kami doon sa whatever, kung saang hotel sa
Oo.
hindi yun
Hindi, well-known tayo. We have to take advantage of this kind of brand. We have a brand as Filipinos sayang yun.
But I'm
Because,
sure yung mga kababayan natin nasa Australia are looking forward to that, especially kung mag-put together nga ng mga meet and greet yan.
Yeah.
Filipino Australian community o business groups dun sa whether
maraming
Sydney,
ganun.
Melbourne.
Pwedeng ma-work
Ano
out.
bang ilang cities ba pupuntahan niya?
Dalawa lang, I
Dalawa
think.
lang.
Melbourne
Hindi, Canberra
and
is there.
Yeah.
Canberra. Melbourne at Canberra.
Melbourne and Canberra.
Okay. So,
Oh,
kasi
sino-
malayo-layo ang Sydney sa totoo lang.
Oh, malayo.
Brisbane
Oh.
lipad ng eroplano sa totoo lang.
Laki niyan, continent. That's a continent by
Pero
itself.
Melbourne in itself, maraming Pilipino dyan.
Marami.
Marami akong kilala dyan.
At saka marami pa lang nag-aaral sa University of
Oo,
Melbourne.
oo,
Ma-workout, no?
Hindi, tsaka mga professionals, I know a number
Marami,
of them, mga corporate executives here who,
Di ba si
migrated.
paring Conrad, meron siyang kapatid na may restaurant doon.
Yun, oo. They're thriving. Tapos yung mga anak nila, tama-tama sa mga universities na gano'n na
Again, so not just we're talking not just of investments, etc. Even in cultural exchanges, even in sports, etc.
Oo.
There was a time, alam mo paring Joel,
Oo.
nung I was still in government.
Oo.
Pinag-usapan namin, natanda mo yung pinag-usapan natin tungkol doon sa teachers camp?
Yun. Okay, teachers camp.
Teachers camp, ha?
Oo. Sa Baguio.
Sa Baguio, 'di ba? Gusto natin mangyari magkakaroon sana ng regional teachers camp.
Oo.
And teachers is a very generic word kasi it can be students, anybody can go there. Ang ibig sabihin, there is establishment na pwedeng puntahan for purposes of education, information, etc. and everything magagamit mo 'yan. Alam mo ba, at one point in time, si Sunshine, Secretary Joe
Aspiras.
Alam mo
The
sinasabi niya,
1970s or 80s.
during the sabi niya, mayroon tayong balikbayan program, etc., etc. Sinuggest namin sa kanya. And it was for a while being looked into, na balam lang nga. Sir, yung second, third generation ng Pinoys, I'm sure they would like to go to come to the Philippines. Why? They would like to know where their grandfathers came from. They would like to know where their fathers came from. Saan ba ang buhay namin ito, etc., etc. Why don't we have a camp for them in each and every area where there is a concentration of Filipinos overseas? Dito, halimbawa, sa Ilocos, maglalagay tayo dito ng boys camp, boys and girls camp. Summer sa inyo, o kaya winter sa inyo, pumunta kayo dito. We will have a lot of things to do together, etc. We will bring you to where your grandfather came from, etc. In other words, that is also a tourism program, ha? By the way. Isipin mo, meron tayong mga estudyante dito. I know for a fact, yung Chiang Kai-shek at saka Xavier, they have classes that go to China. Yung Chiang Kai-shek, they go to Taiwan. Classes yun. So that's a tourism. At the same time, you imbibe and educate yourself. Hindi ba ganun? Ito I'm sure they're happy. Saan ba nanggaling si Lolo? Ganung klase. Di ba?
Yung kinikwento ko nga yung anak ni Meng at ni Paul na taga UK, taga Oxford, si Elizabeth, punta rito. Gustong malaman yung history ng yan. Talagang she knew nothing. I mean, except for the sporadic visits they had. Pero hindi marunong mag-Tagalog. Ayun, napadpan sa Dumaguete. Ang hindi lang na foresee ni Meng ay may in love sa pulis. Sabi niya, okay nga yan. Sabi ko, pulis na mabait naman yung bata. Pulis sa Bohol. But there you go. It started with that. Nag-outreach sila. But I think they did the same thing pero sila, kasi naalala ko, nagtanong din sa akin yan, nag-email, sumali sila, ano ba yung gumagawa ng bahay? Sorry, hindi yung isa, Habitat, yung isa yung kay
Gawad Kalinga.
Gawad Kalinga, ang ginawa. Siguro, itong pulis na nakilala, yung mga escort nila, na in love. Pero, yung mga ganun ba? Oo. Gawad Kalinga, Habitat, yung mga ganun. There are others. Nakasabi ko sa teachers camp doon pumunta ako, parang napabayaan sa Baguio. That could be utilized as a center for that.
yan. Iayos mo na yan.
Ay, ganda pa man din ang lugar doon.
Sasabihin mo, summer ngayon. Lahat ng mga estudyante dito sa university na ganito, etc. Punta lahat tayo doon. At workoutin natin yan. Doon tayo matira, etc. Ayusin natin yan. Mag-gardening tayo. At trabahuin natin. Pwede, maraming gano'n
And it's a beautiful place. Hindi mo kahihiya. Ay, nako, Diyos ko,
At
ganda.
saka ang ganda ng location. It's in the middle of things. Diyan sa area na yan. Marami tayong gano'n eh. Marami tayong gano'n na mga areas na pwedeng i-revive, i-work out, etc. and everything.
We don't have to pay a grant to Taylor Swift. We have this stuff. We have our warm, genuine hospitality, Filipino hospitality. We have the places and the historical significance. Granted, kulang tayo sa infrastructure. Ay, naku, sa totoo lang, maraming mga puti, mga foreigner. Hindi problema sa kanila. Sasakay ng jeep yan, sasakay ng bus yan.
Gusto nga nila yun.
Gusto nga nila yan. Di ba? Ibang
organized mo na.
Organized
In other words, this is an hindi yung papira-pira.
And I think that's what like Andhra Pradesh and the others are looking for. Na i-organize nyo na. Para naman hindi yung iba-iba kausap namin, na ginugulo nyo kami, nagkaintindihan na rito, biglang kailangan.
Dito, iba na naman. Organize lang.
You don't need to tinker with the Constitution. Just organize lang natin.
Organize lang natin na workout. So, marami tayong pwedeng gawin na ganyan. And we would like to do that even in yun na lang, the tradition, halimbawa sinasabi niya, ay wala na yung Marikina pagdating sa shoemaking, etc. No! Alam mo ba alam mo naman to parang Joel, in Bali, yan ang pinupuntahan ng mga turista doon. Yung the traditional batik weaving, the batik making, maliliit na shops, etc. And they do all of these things. Di sa Marikina, mayroon ka siguro mga nandiyan pa na traditional shoemakers, etc., pati yung mga gumagalaw. Yan, paayusin mo na mabuti yan, magiging stopover yan ng mga turista, basta organize.
Maayos.
Importante yung organization And that organization has been from top to bottom. Hindi pwedeng, ikaw lang organize, hindi mo nakausap itong mga ito. Masisira ulo.
Ayan na naman tayo sa communication. Yung hindi pala nagkaintindihan. Hindi alam kung ECC o study. Di ba?
Mga ganun.
Yun madalas nangyayari sa atin kasi.
At saka nagiging problema natin, parang nagkakaroon tayo ng fast food mentality.
What do you mean?
Fast food mentality na, gratification is now.
Pwede na yan.
Di ba? Kailangan ngayon na. There are certain things that you have to work out
Mapapansin mo, pag ginaganon mo, lalong down the line, down the road, nagkakaproblema.
Malaking problema yun. Ayusin mo, yung gratification.
Nila, pag nagka-problema din, ikaw na problema yun. At least nakuha ko na yung
Hindi.
That's not the way it works. Yun yung lagi, kaya bumabalik lagi tayo nung panahon ni FM, ni dating Presidente Marcos, yung tatay. Ay, siguro pag nagmi-meeting sa mga tao niya, hindi, ito panghama-haba.
Pag
meron tayong ginagawang proyekto, this will have to go beyond my presidency.
May low-lying.
Whether it's manufacturing, whether it's tourism, whether it's cultural,
Meron tayong nga ba tayo sikasuhin, pero this one is part of a whole process. Na workout. Yan, kasi kagaya niyan. 3 years lang ako magiging mayor. Bilisan ko na to, ayusin ko na to at lahat. Yung ganong klase. Hindi, kailangan ko na ngayon na ganito Kasi gusto kong pumunta. Wala. The goal setting, the goals are set, but we are not talking about the journey because there is a journey to it
Actually, I mean, you hit the nail in the head there, Kong Jonathan. Not only sa national government, more so sa LGUs natin. Parang yung ganun ng mindset yung at least matatandaan tayo.
Gratification
na yun. Paggagawa ng multipurpose center sa Reman Bill of Governors Association instead of the MRF. Dahil kailangan basketball court instead of garbage collection. Sana. Diba? Yung mga ganun ba?
Yung mga basic things na kailangan ma-workout. Hindi, at saka, naging tayo na lang. Ayusin natin to. We're not talking about the nation. We're talking about ourselves na lang. Sila, okay lang.
Even during the, if I may mention, di ba, lagi tayong bumabalik sa panahon ni dating Presidente Marcos. Yung dati hindi naman barangay ang tawag sa ano sa mga yung community unit natin, di ba? Well, what was it called noon?
Ano yan?
But he didn't need to come up with the Bagong Pilipinas program or something. Wala nga yung barangay. To tell you frankly, I distinctly remember, bata pa ako noon, because of naming it barangay, then yung barangay officials, yung barangay kapitan, ganon, they're developed, naging natural na, nagkaroon ng nationalism, nagkaroon ng community, at ano, of course ngayon nag-evolve na yun, pero at that time, dahil din-evolve down there, kasi I remember, di ba, kinikwento ko sa'yo, dati kami sa PhilAm, PhilAm Life.
Dito sa Quezon City.
Medyo nagkaroon ng, ano doon ng pushback doon dahil opposition naman talaga dating PhilAm noon at that time. Pero, bakit hindi kami barangay? But then, nang nangyari, mas humusay ang pamamalakad. Kasi, let's face it, the homeowners association was good during its concept in the 1950s, the late.
Pero you belong to a group.
So naging barangay na gano'n. And from there on, lalong na-achieve yung mga goal setting na ginagawa, especially kung mula sa national at binababa. Now, of course, nag-evolve na ngayon. But nung panahon noon, that was a planned thing din.
Yeah, it was a planned thing. It was a very planned thing. Kasi you have to involve.
So even that early, alam na ni Epe kung devolution,
the mobilization has to be done because it is a whole of nation concept. Ang importante, lahat tayo involved. Lahat tayo naintindihan natin kung bakit natin ginagawa ito, bakit natin work outin ito, bakit tayo magtatrabaho ng ganyan. Yung ganung klase.
May DILG na ba nun?
Meron.
Ba't hindi DILG ang tawag?
Hindi,
ang DILG kasi parang naisip ko panahon ni President Cory. So,
hindi, meron na.
Meron na nun. And who was his DILG chief at that time?
Hindi, nung the first time na siya naging presidente, it was called PACD.
Ayun.
Presidential Assistant for Community Development.
Okay.
Si the dating senador who was the secretary of PACD, Ernie Maceda.
Okay.
Si Manong Ernie.
Manong Ernie.
And then, nung nagkaroon na ng martial law at lahat, sina na yan, Secretary Ronyo.
Okay.
You
Now
remember?
I remember.
Piping Ronyo.
And even then, gaya nun, malinaw din ang marching orders ni Secretary Ronyo. Ayusin nyo sa baba, i-devolve. Kailangan kung ano yung mga directive na ginawa natin is over there, kayong talagang mag-implement.
Ito yung mga kailangan sa communities. 11 basic services. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lahat yan dapat available sa community.
I do not remember any grand launching in Luneta or something. Pare, no.
Trabaho lang.
Tama ka, 11 basic needs
11 basic needs, Ministry of Human Settlement. Yun. Yan mga workout. And these are still the basic needs.
Hindi naman nagbabago. Bahay, pagkain, health, diba?
Power, tubig, lahat, etc. yan.
Hindi, na-privatize yun. Sorry. Na-privatize yan, bro. I mean, the private sector can do this better than the... Kaya pala galit na galit ka talaga sa privatization. Because these were being done by the government and local government components at that time.
And saka, it was working.
It was working.
Paano yun? Palagi nga natin sinasabi, there are
si Secretary Ronyo ba galing sa corporate nun?
No.
Saan siya
he was a
tinap siya?
city mayor.
City mayor. Kita mo yung police.
Sinasabi palagi natin, and I remember it very, very clearly, nung debate dyan tungkol sa amin. Basta ang akin, sila sa president na FM at lahat, sabi niya, there are certain things that you cannot cede to the private sector.
Yeah.
These are what you call the commanding heights of the economy. Mayroon siyang tawag na gano'n. The commanding heights of the economy, government should be there. Otherwise, wala yan. You are no longer a government. If you cede everything else, especially the commanding heights of the economy, to the private sector, that's it. You lose yourself. Tapos ka na. Because then, ano pang gagawin mo? What are you? A nation building tayo. You cannot cede nation building to the private sector. It has to be the government.
Hindi kasi nangyari kasi is the concept naman nung nag-privatization lalo nung panahon ni FVR is that by achieving the bottom line, you become more efficient. By becoming more efficient, you are able to deliver better to the... but then, hindi na explain doon. But then, you will deliver at a higher cost.
Patay ka na.
And then, even then, the efficiency down the line
Nagsasuffer.
Nagsasuffer.
Ang sinasabi nga nun dati, pare, that's what you call the Washington Consensus. Yun ang sinasabi nila. The Washington Consensus was that. Yung sinasabi mo, the private sector can do it better, etc., etc. That there was a time na ganyan talaga yan, etc. Now, we are going back to the original. The Washington Consensus, in many countries and even globally, is already losing its purpose. So we are going back to the same system na the state has to take a very, very active, even a commanding role in nation building.
Bumabalik na doon.
Bumabalik. Tignan mo kung sino yung mga nandi dyan ngayon. Anwar, Subianto, Jokowi, state. Ang nagdadala doon, state. Pati Vietnam, of course, state. The party. And of course, China. Yan ang mga, even Taiwan. We have elections, etc. It's a party. It's a party-based operation. Yan ang kailangan natin. Hindi ko nababasa yung sinasabi niyo dyan. Ang oras po natin, alas 9:32 na umaga dito sa ating programang Karambola sa DWIC.
Karambola sa DWIZ.
That time check was brought to you by ACS Manufacturing Corporation, ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS.
Mula sa number 1, Smart Dishwashing Paste.
Tanggaling-galing mo. Smart dishwashing paste ko. Pritong ulam na masebo. Plato o kaldero. Tanggaling for everyday.
Ganyan pag Smart ang dishwashing paste. May double tanggaling formula. Tanggal galing ang sebo at bacteria.
Bahid para walang bahid. Linis fantastic sa metal at plastic. Number 1 ko to. Tanggaling-galing mo. Smart dishwashing paste.
Heavy duty linis bawat pahid.
Smart Dishwashing Paste. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified. World-class quality.
ACS.
Si Mommy at si Washing Machine believe sa Pride Washing Machine Detergent.
Hello, Washi!
Hello, Mommy!
Laundry day na naman! Ready ka na sa mancha, chocolate, putik, libag?
Kaya yan ang Pride Washing Machine Detergent. May triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at malupit na dumit mancha. Easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon. All you need is pride. All you need is pride.
Pride Detergent, manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified, world-class quality.
ACS.
Boom, papaya, white rose papaya, yeah, yeah, yeah. Boom, puti ka in 7 days, oh yeah, 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 yeah. White rose papaya.
New White Rose Papaya. Ada double whitening tea papaya extracts can vitamin B3, clinically proven mangpapudaw in as early as 7 days with regular use.
Puti ka, white rose papaya, yeah, 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 yeah.
Papaya pudaw, papaya fast. White Rose Papaya with vitamin B3. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS. Sa panahon ngayon, kau ba'y sigurado? Kau ba'y protektado? Ang pamilya ay i-shield mo. Laban sa bakterya, i-shield mo. Laban ng pati virus, i-shield mo.
Shield Bat Soap. Matay ni 99.9% of bacteria and virus tested. Believed by eksperto iti Philippine Nurses Association.
Sa sakit protektado, i-shield mo. Pamilya protektado, i-shield mo.
Shield Bat Soap. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified. World-class quality.
ACS. Goodbye to me, mancha. Hello, right, bar blue. Isang labanan yan. Right, bar blue.
Pride Bar Blue with powerful stain-away enzymes. Malupit magtanggal ng dumit mancha pero di masakit sa kamay.
Goodbye to me, mancha. Hello, right, bar blue. Isang labanan yan.
As tested ang cotton and polycotton. Sa mancha, malupit. Sa kamay mo, mabait. Pride Bar Blue. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified. World-class quality.
ACS.
RPN DZBS Baguio. Ang Radyo Ronda ng buong Pilipinas.
Ang ating mga karambulista at ang programa Karambola sa DWIZ.
Oh! Karambola, karambola. Tuwing umaga.
Balik po tayo dito sa ating programang Karambola sa DWIZ. Ito pa rin yung mga kaibigan. Aliw 23, siyempre. DWIZ at Aliw 23. Ito pa rin yung mga kaibigan. Jonathan De La Cruz, siyempre kasama natin. Paring Joel Laksamana, magandang umaga.
Magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga po.
Uulitin namin kasi meron mga ilang makukulit. Ewan kung hindi nakikinig o pumapasok. Bakit daw 3 araw na straight wala si paring Conrad Banal? Okay.
Ito, pakiulit mo na lang.
Siya po ay nagre-real estate speculation sa Cagayan de Oro sa Mindanao. Nagbubungkal siya ng lupa gamit yung kanyang tailor-made driver. Kada palo niya ng bola, umuuka siya sa fairway. Ayun, yun po ang ginagawa ni paring Conrad. Bukas narito na yun dahil 3 araw lang daw.
Pag hindi pa siya dumating dito, ibig sabihin, ano yun?
Ang akin,
luhaan yun.
Well, ang spekulasyon ko, hindi. Baka gumanda ang laro, nag-decide na lang siya, magpo-pro player na lang. Dream on, paring Conrad.
So ikaw, gumanda laro. Ako, ang tingin ko naman, pag hindi pa siya nagpakita bukas, luhaan yan.
Luhaan, talaga. Pati sa rapol, luhaan. Ano? Nakuha lahat nila Alex Santos, Anthony Suntay, nila Igan, yung mga premyo. Yun po, wala pong intriga, wala pong martes. Mr. Hard Chops, kung nandyan ka man, wala po. Huwag ka nang gumawa ng kwento. By the way, sir, ano tong yung... hindi ko kasi napanood to. Bakit nagsalita si Secretary Benhar Abalos ng DILG na disturbing and inappropriate ang mga pananalita daw sa ingat daw, wag magmumura ng mga LGU executives. Saan ba public?
Hindi. Ang nangyari niyan nung February 25 yan. Di ba meron yung hakbang na maisog or something like that?
Saan ginawa yan?
Sa Cebu.
Okay. At ang mga nagdaluhan dyan?
Yung mga considered na loyalist ni dating President Duterte. At nagsalita doon si Mayor Baste. And then some other local officials at saka sinasabi lang ni Secretary Abalos. Yung mga pananalita po ninyo, tingnan ninyo kasi public official naman kayo, hindi naman kayo private lalo na siyempre, pamamarisan kayo ng mga tao at lahat.
So may mura. Kahit si Trump hindi nagmumura. Si Trump, babanatan ka, pero iba yung banat.
Well, something like that. In other words, tingin ni Secretary Abalos, inappropriate, may pagkabulgar na hindi naman kailangan and everything. So sabi niya, there is such a thing as code of conduct. Code of conduct for public officials. Inire-remind niya na dahan-dahan ho tayo kasi public officials po tayo ay pamamarisan tayo ng tao. Kung tayo vulgar magsalita at wala tayong parang wala tayong pakundangan kung ano-anong ginagawa natin, wag ho kasi ayaw natin mangyari na sasabihin, hindi, ginawa ni Mayor to bakit kami hindi pwede? Mga ganong klase.
Gayahin nyo, si Attorney Larry Kidlat, gano'n na nga para ng anghel na magsalita.
Hindi, sinabihan na nga siya.
Public official na kasi, diba?
Pinagsabihan na siya, hindi na siya pwedeng magmura. So yun lang, yun ang parang pahiwatig ni Secretary Abalos.
Sabi nga niya, we can always communicate our opinions with civility.
Which is correct.
Code of ethics at mga things like that.
Code of conduct for public officials.
Kayo naging official kayo may binrief kung ano ang code of conduct.
Meron.
Ethics. Meron may seminar nun.
And then, personal information yun Di ba? Mayroon mga tao talagang pala, medyo may mga dating na hindi dapat. Pero may mga karamihan naman hindi ganoon, medyo malumanay. Ang Sa local kasi, merong ganun tendency. Alam mo kung bakit, paring Joel. Kasi, parang gusto mo ipakita, kailangan anuhin natin.
Parang yun yung branding, yung person. Hindi naman branding, pero tendency.
May pangangailangan na ganun. Kasi, ano bang ginagawa mo dyan? Yung ganung klase. Pero may mga iba naman, magagaling ha. Diyan ako believe doon sa mga matatandang mga politiko na magaling sa tao, how to communicate, work. And they communicate, maski na ganun sila ka-friendly, they communicate strength, they command. Mayroong command yung kanilang personality. Meron akong alam, dating governor ito. Ito naman, magaling na governor, talagang he's loved by his constituents, etc. Matagal na governor ito. Pupunta doon, may isa galing sa barangay na constituent niya, at sabi niya, Governor, kapapasa lang ho nitong aking anak na engineer. Baka naman ho pwede siya ma-accommodate dyan sa ating engineering department. Sabi niya. Hindi siyempre si Governor, magaling ito, maayos na tayo. Sige, tawagan ko yun. Tinawagan niya yung provincial engineer. Engineer, nandito si yung anak ni pareng ganito, ganyan, etc. Baka naman pwede natin siyang ma-accommodate dyan.
Sa harap niya?
Sa harap mismo.
Telepono, okay.
Edi siyempre sasabihin ng engineer, Sir, wala ho tayong ganito. Naririnig na. Kung hindi mo kayang i-accommodate, hindi mo kayang bigyan ng trabaho ito, ibigay mo na yung pwesto mo sa kanya. Siyempre, yung dagdag, si Governor, talagang mahal na mahal kami. At saka lahat, etc.
Later na lang umalis na siguro.
Tignan mo kung pwede natin talaga matulungan to. Maski na ba, yun lang, maski kaminero o nag-ano sa mga kalye-kalye, bigyan na natin ng trabaho to. Nasabi na natin huwag ka magagalit. May mga ganon. In other words, hindi naman yung, ganito, mumurahin mo, hindi. Magaling sa magdala. Para siyempre, galing sa barangay ito, layo pinanggalingan nito. Wala ka man lang parang kumbaga pasabi na.
Also, merong mga old school, old style na, lalo na mga politiko. I will give you an example. Dati tumira ako saglit sa Pasig. Yung dating mayor si Mayor Enteng. Napaka-colorful niya. Talagang, kasi dati mayroon kami sa Manila Water magpapatubig sa barangay. Biglang nakita yung isang barangay kapitan. Siguro dati ng tauhan, kasamaan. Ikaw, susuntokin ka tayo talaga. At saka, magtitigan mo siya, mukha nga namang manununtok. But then again, he is so beloved by his constituent ng mga tao. At talagang siguro, nung lumaki siya, doon talagang, barkada niya talaga yun. Hindi naman ang problema minsan, hindi na mamana ng anak yung mga ganun. Iba style siguro.
Ibang style.
Ganun din. Now, meron din ako mga kilala in later years kasi medyo nag-consultant din ako sa mga ilang politiko na naging sekretary. Merong iba talaga hindi mo akalain. Iba yung public persona, private persona, namamato ng stapler. Talaga stapler ang binato. Samantalang ito talagang yung mga persona nito nagbubuhat pa ng sako at mga nagtatraffic-traffic.
Hindi bagay.
Binato ng stapler yung stop dahil mabagal-bagal gumalaw. Yung isa naman, laki ng respeto ko. Talagang edukadong tao to, very successful.
Well-credentialed.
AIM, So, pagka hindi nagustuhan yung mesang ganito, ako, taekwondista ako, sinipang ganun, umabot hanggang dun yung mesa. Ang lakas siguro sa galit niya dahil hindi dumating yung deliverable, Simple lang naman,
Kaibigan natin
yan, Yung pinagagawa, mga school rooms, klase. Kulang yung, tapos lolokohin dahil hindi maloloko to sa number.
Alam niya to.
Tadyak nung lamesa, ganitong kalaki yung mesa, it moved, mga 2 feet. Sabi ko, sir, dapat kayo pala nagtataekwondo. Ang lakas niyo sumipa. Dahil may mga ganun minsan sa silakbo ng damdamin. Hindi nasunod yung gusto, may pinagagawa.
Pag mga ganyan, kailangan maintindihan mo yan Kasi, gusto mo may mangyari. Tapos hindi mo nagawa. Ano ba? Anong problema mo? Parang ganun eh.
So baka ganun din yung sa Cebu. Merong mga, yung bang emosyonal, gusto ng damdamin. Pero syempre, ang akin naman kasi, yung nanipa ng mesa, at saka yung nagbato ng stapler, walang media doon. Walang mikropono ron. Ito pa,
Kayo lang yun.
ito, kami lang yun. Ay, kinikwento ko na lang. Pero yun, itong dito sa Cebu,
Nakali ka eh.
alam mo na, every word, every syllable na sasabihin mo, every comma, aabot yan sa buong apare hanggang hulo. Dahil ang daming media social media pa. So, hindi naman ako maniwalang pare. Mukhang for all yun, hindi naman talaga siya ganun, pare. Pero, yun na nga. Minsan kabaliktaran no?
Totoo yan.
Am I correct?
Yes,
Kaya
yes.
sa politika di ba?
Ganyan yan. No? May mga... Si Presidente, he took it from his father.
Si Presidente Bongbong.
Si President Marcos.
What you see is what you get.
Hindi nagbumura yun.
Mukhang, hindi, wala sa.
Ang mura niya, pag sinabi niyang, ang mura na ni Presidente FM, lintik. Pag yung medyo galit na galit,
Si
punong-puno
FM yung
na siya.
tatay.
FM.
Yung tatay.
Lintik. Parang ganon. Pag sinabi niyang lintik, medyo ka na doon. Ibig sabihin, sukdulan na yun.
Si Presidente Bongbong kasi nung media ako ko yun na yan halubilo ilang beses na ng media gathering of forum nung congressman siya at saka nung senator.
At saka doon
sa
kanyang
tanggap ng suntok din nakangiti pa
doon sa pakain ni parang Elmer.
Yun. Sumat pa nga ng scotch. Pero okay, bari, kahit anong itanong mo. Meron isa bro, I distinctly remember kasi nung batang reporter ako, si JPE, nung Secretary of Defense.
Iba rin yan.
Iba yan, ha?
Iba.
But yun, pare, he will come up with an extremely lucid, cold, put down, pare. At then madaan ka sa tingin na...
yung parang ganon.
Pero hindi naman nagmura, hindi naman nanipa, hindi nothing. But really, it's
alam
a type
mo na,
of put down na...
Alam mo na.
Ganon. Si President GMA, I never saw the computer na lumipad. But I've seen her na talagang pagtatanga-tanga ka, or hindi ka nag-research, or something you're trying to put one over her. Talagang, at lalo na even media na sabi po daw ni daw? Sabi, sino daw? Pupunta ka rito, daw? Press conference. Yung reporter, nagbukang tanga tuloy.
But teacher
teacher.
Professor to.
Tama nga, bakit ka magtatanong ng daw?
In one cabinet meeting, I understand. Ito naman, kinento lang sa akin ng isang nandoon mismo. Sabi niya, nagsasalita si yung cabinet, nagre-report. Cabinet member, etc. Excuse me, sabi kagad ni GM. I'm sure mali-mali yan sinasabi mo. You better take a look at that. Professor, tignan niyo ulit yan. Why don't you take a look at it again? I think your figures are wrong.
Ayun, gano'n.
Meron siyang gano'n. And all of this, kaya natin nababanggit itong mga kaibigan at mga kapatid sapagkat these are all public public figures and you know how to conduct yourself in public. Ma-workout. May mga magagaling na magdala. I remember when I was still in government in Saudi Arabia, I was assigned there for some time. Ang in the the Foreign Affairs Minister Prince Faisal. Doon kasi
Prinsipe.
meron ka interpreter May interpreter. So nagsasalita siya. Merong tapos sabi niya, akala mo hindi marunong mag-English kasi may interpreter. May interpreter pare. Sabi niya, no, that was not what I meant. Nagsalita bigla mo. No.
Si Prince Faisal. Mga yan, mga educated sa Princeton. O kaya hindi, sa UK, yung mga gano'n. O kaya,
Oxford, yung mga to. Sabi niya sa interpret, no, that was not what I meant. Tapos nagsalita na siya. And then, balik ulit sa interpretation.
Yung interpreter siguro. Ay, sorry.
Yung ganong klase. Ang mahilig sa ganyan dati, and ito naman going back to history at lahat, na magaling siya sa ganon na sistema kasi naiinis siya sa mga Amerikano dati at that time. Si dating Mayor Tony Villegas, Antonio Villegas.
Si Yeba.
Si Yeba. Yun ang nag-ano ng mga Maynila, etc.
Maynila,
Sa Lagos nila, yan yung mga kanya eh. May pumunta na na parang galing sa US Embassy. Siya magaling mag-ano yun. Magaling mag-English lahat yun. Sabi niya, mag-interpret ka. Sabi niya dun sa kasama niya. Hindi niya kinakausap ng hindi niya kinakausap ng English, pare.
Interpreter, sinasadya niya.
Sinadya niya talaga, galit siya. Ikaw magsalita tungkol dyan. Sa tingin ko, ganito, ganyan, interpret mo.
Binanggit mo si Mayor Villegas.
Yeba.
Divert, dahil
very colorful na mayor yun.
Tatay ko hindi gusto si Mayor Villegas dahil kaibigan yung nauna si Mayor Lacson na talagang
iba naman yun.
Yun naman yun kabaliktaran Yun edukadong tao, atinista na
pero
pero nananadya magkanto-boy persona.
Yes.
At to tell you frankly, it worked for him. Siguro kasi kung masyado ka nag-hypaluting atinista, wala siyang kahinatnan. At sa totoo lang, gano'n naman daw talaga siya, sabi ng tatay ko, kahit anong panahon ng But Jesuit trained yan. Shakespearean pa nga magsalita yan. Pero pag nagsalita,
yun?
Again, may mga ganong politika nananadya na si Mayor Duterte, ganon. Si Mayor Duterte, educated, nagpapanggap din. Parang ganito rin. Si Mayor Lacson din, si Arsenic, ganon din tao, bro.
Talagang acerbic yun.
Acerbic.
Klaseng tao yun. At saka talagang very colorful
ang language.
Very colorful language.
But sabi nga ng tatay ko, pero sa totoong buhay, hindi ganyan yan. Hindi
It was effective.
It was effective.
In the Manila of his time. Because in Manila at that time, crime
din. Kailangan mo ng siga.
Kailangan mo ng siga. Mas masiga. Pero magaling siya. Educated nga. Abogado.
Hindi sabi nga tatay, hindi naman ganyan magdamit yan nung college. Yung naka-ganyan, tapos naka-shades nung, kasi gano'n naman ang fashion nung araw. Pero yun na nga, ginagayon. Kasi bawal sa atin na yung tinataas na gano'n.
Bawal talaga yun.
So, he needed to cultivate that.
He needed to cultivate that image kasi kailangan niya sabihin, siga kayo? Mas siga ako sa inyo. Parang gano'n na sitwasyon.
In a way, bago pa si Lee Kuan Yew dumating, gano'n na siya. Dating ka sa akin na may suntukan, may dala akong panaksak. Dumating ka sa akin may dadating baril ang susunod. Gano'n na.
Ano siya? Siga
Siga.
Ang image niya, siga.
Baka
But he had to maintain that He had to maintain that kasi nga, he had to discipline Manila Kasi at that time, napakagulo ng Manila at that time I think sinundan niya yata, this was several years after the war.
Teka muna, wala bang taga-DILG at that time na nagwa-warning sa kanya na medyo civility? Sabay, iba sa different era at that time.
Saka, rally na you can no longer say anything. Yung kay Mayor Lacson, buksingero to
I heard.
Kilalang buksingero to at lahat. Kaya, sabi niya, siga ba kayo? Mas siga ako sa inyo. Pero, if he talks with dignitaries,
biglang suddenly
magaling siya.
Parang si PBBM na talagang pang-foreign din, business politics.
Matrabaho at lahat. BP Sara, ganun din. She's well-educated at lahat. Pero meron siyang image. She has an image na, huwag niyong bibiro-biruin yan. Ibang klase yan. Something like that. Ganun din si Mayor Lacson. There are certain personalities like those na Speaker Laurel, pare. Pepito Laurel. Mapagmura yun.
Ganun din.
Kawawa ka doon. Pero mabait na tao. Mayroon ganun May mga ganun talaga.
Kasi yung dating VP, si the late, VP Laurel.
Doy
Laurel. Yun naman
Iba naman yun.
Edukado, very charming, very well. Yung education niya talagang lalabas. And tapos makanta pa. Ang galing.
Hindi. In that family,
although masama ang loob niya nung panahon nung I remember
in that family, he had to be that
he had to be that kasi napali.
Ito yung brother niya, the speaker, ito talaga nagdadala ng And then in that same family, si Senator Teroy.
Antero Laurel.
Talagang gentleman.
Urbane.
Iba. The founder of, the owner of, of Lyceum.
Oo.
Of course, ano yan ng kanilang
Nag-expansion na
si
sila.
President Laurel dati. Di ba? So maraming ganyan na mga personalidad. Magsaysay, pare. Akala mo ang image ni President Magsaysay, man of the masses.
No, man of
Pero
the
magaling yun. Sa totoo lang.
Sinadya niya yung persona na
ganun ang
masa ako, pero hindi talaga.
Hindi. Ano siya, iba siya. Bakit nakita mo naman kung
Hindi, tsaka,
magandang
bro,
lalaki.
not only that, again, isa pa yung naalala ko sa tatay, kaibigan niya yung mga nakapaligid. There was one guy, yung kanyang executive secretary, si Dindo, I forgot his name, golfer na kaibigan ng tatay ko. He liked surrounding himself with the best and the brightest as well. Bro, na mga economic managers, financial experts, investment,
si President Magsaysay, dyan, Ambassador JV Cruz.
Yeah,
The youngest member of cabinet.
Of cabinet at that
He
time.
holds that record. Mas bata yata siya kaysa kay Senator Kit. Kasi si
Kit Tatad.
Kit Tatad. Si press secretary noon na JB Cruz. I think he was 27 years old. Si Senator Tatad when he was information minister, 29.
So mas matanda pa siya ng ilang dalawang taon or something. Kasi it was bandied about he was the youngest cabinet secretary
of FM. Of FM. Pero record si Ambassador JB Cruz Magsaysay, short-lived lang yun. Of course, Magsaysay short-lived.
Short-lived yun.
Mayroon pang istorya bago tayo maalis. Magandang istorya niyan nangyari. 'Di ba si President Magsaysay was the defense secretary of President Quirino. Quirino, 'di ba? Naglaban sila. He wanted to have then Mayor Arsenic Lacson as his vice president. Sabi ni Mayor Lacson, ako magba-vice president, nakatanga ako doon. I will be president. Because he already had a lot.
Presidential timber na siya.
At lahat. Ba't ka man magba-vice president dyan? Di magiging tanga ako dyan. Nakahintay-hintay lang ako dyan. Parang ganun na sinabi niya. So President Magsaysay was forced to get I think he was the senator of Carlos P. Garcia. Na medyo loki-loki, etc. at lahat. Buta namatay siya Magsaysay, pare.
Yung plane crash, nag-accident. Who could have foreseen that?
Sinabi naman nung iba, So
had he taken the vice presidency, he would have been the president agad-agad. Nandun na siya.
At that time daw, sabi nila, si Vice President CPG, walang pumapansin sa kanya. Walang pumapansin sa kanya. Magsaysay, siyempre, heroes, the masses, a very colorful person. Nung inaano daw siya, nung inaano nila si President Magsaysay papuntang Cebu at lahat, alam po mapansin sa kanya, Vice President, etc. Namatay siguro.
Siyang naging
nag-president siya kagad. Pagdating dito, lahat na ng tao nandun kay Garcia.
That is fate intervenes.
Fate intervened. In the case of Mayor Lacson, he could have been the president immediately after. So, may mga very, very colorful. Ang dami mga ganyan. I don't know if there is somebody na nagre-record ng mga ganyan. Kasi
not to wish anything ill or something. Kaya VP Sara Duterte, wag relax lang. Di ba? Yung mga,
as the good book says. There is a time for everything. Ganyan din
wag magpo-push ka agad kung hindi nyo tingin, hindi pa kayo sigurado. Kasi hindi na.
It will haunt you.
Tsaka sa totoo lang, kumita na yung stop ko gumawa niyan Alam mo, mahirap yung gano'n.
Wala. It will not amount to something that will be good for you.
Yeah.
Work out. Maraming ganyan, what they call unintended consequences. But anyway, ito naman intended
The long lasso of fate,
Yes.
ang tawag dyan.
Yan.
pare.
Ito naman, talagang madadala ka dito, pero ito, intended consequence
Intended,
to.
pare.
Number one muna, bago tayo magpaalam, magpasalamat muna tayo dito
sige.
sa dadating.
Sa
At susunod na programa, Ronda Pilipinas, dito nagpapasalamat muna kami sa kanya sapagkat kahapon ang sarap. Ang sarap.
Ay, hindi. Ako, nilagay ko muna sa eskaparate. Yung bunuan bangos.
Bunuan
Isang
bangos.
boteng
Ang
yun.
sarap sa bote. Masarap. Nandito na po. Huwag ko kayong alis.
Weekend ko yan. Okay.
Susunod na programa, Ronda Pilipinas, with award-winning broadcaster and super bangus distributor, Dennis Antenor Jr. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat.
Oh! Karambola
Sa DWIZ hanggang sa muli, tayo'y magbabalik upang ihatid ang pagtalakay sa iba't ibang mga issue dito pa rin sa programang Karambola sa DWIZ.